audio first. Issues with Jide. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our political and national landscape and how these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, Fubara suffers massive setback as PDP NWC approves Congress by Wike's faction considers leaving the party. In the course of the program, we take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. It's important to mention that we can only read comments with human names and the ones based on the subject matter. I have joining me via Zoom the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. Good to see you, Big Hill.
It's good to do this again today.
Now, former governor of River State, Nyesom Wike, has won again as the National Working Committee of the PDP approved the contentious River State congresses from wards to local governments and the state. So with the current state of play, who can be described as the one who holds the control of the party in River State?
Yes, I think effectively now, Nyesom Wike is in control of the PDP in River State. After many of us thought that the party would not ratify the Congress held a couple of weeks ago. But as we have seen,
Yeah.
that Congress has been ratified, and the Congress was ratified from ward to state. And I mean, what this means, and what local government to the state, what this means that effectively the control of the party in the state is firmly in the hands of the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. The congresses had people contesting for elective positions. Only those who bought the forms that the party sold were permitted to contest in the congresses. Fubara and his supporters never bought the forms. And effectively, since Fubara supporters didn't buy the forms, it means that they were effectively shut out of the electoral process. So the FCT minister is right now in the driver's seat as far as the PDP is concerned, as far as the politics of the PDP is concerned in River State. There is always contestation for control of the structures of a party, because if you are able to install your people from ward level to local government level and then the state, you are firmly in charge of not just the running of the party in the state, you are also in charge when it comes to plotting for the next election. So, yes, I'm sure that Fubara and his men must have thought that with the state high court declaring that the congresses should not be held, I'm sure he must have felt that Wike and his people will respect the order of the court. But before the state high court gave his decision, the federal high court had ruled that nobody should tamper with the congresses of the Rivers PDP. And so, when the Fubara faction decided to go to court to stop the congresses from holding, what they should have done was to set aside the order of the Federal High Court, which said that nobody should tamper with the Congress of Rivers PDP. So they didn't do that. And in law, when two equities meet, the first in time shall prevail. That is what the law says. When two courts of coordinate jurisdiction give conflicting order, as we have seen in this case, the first order shall be obeyed. I thought that it would have made sense if they got a superior court to set aside the order by the Federal High Court saying nobody should tamper with the congresses of the Rivers PDP. But that didn't happen. And in the end, Wike's people decided to proceed with the congresses. We don't know for now whether a superior court would give an order invalidating the congresses held. Again, like we've seen with cases involving River States, this could go all the way to the final court in the land. But what we have seen is that Wike's people won the congresses from top to bottom, and Aaron Chukwemeka is officially the chairman of the PDP in Rivers State. And that is what has put Wike in firm control, because the chairman of the party is his loyalist. His people have won the elective positions from top to bottom. And what we now hear is that Governor Fubara is going to field people from is going to field candidates for the local government election in the states using the platform of the APP. I think it is becoming clear to some of his supporters that in the grand scheme of things, in order not to be completely shut out, they need to have a plan B. And it's looking like the plan B for Fubara at this stage is another party outside of the PDP, because majority always carries the day. The NWC of the PDP decided to ratify the Rivers congresses, despite the fact that the legal advisor of the party said it was wrong. But his voice was drowned by the voice of the majority, and the majority ultimately carried the day. That is what we have seen. And under such situation, what does one expect? Power has been put in the hands of elements opposed to the Rivers State government. Now he has to try his best now to see whether through another platform he can regain preeminence, he can be back in full control. But within the PDP, against expectations, we were thinking that Wike could even be sanctioned, could be suspended, could be punished, especially for his remarks against PDP governors. But the politics of PDP, as it concerns Wike, is a very complex one. And Wike, as an individual, divides opinion within the party. There are many people who still retain some sympathy for Wike, because when many of the big shots literally abandoned the party, he remained in the party and continued to fund it. It is, in my view, payback time for Wike and the members of the NWC of the party, which is the party's main decision-making organs, have decided to support him, despite the fact that the governors of the party had a meeting in Jalingo where they told the party to allow Governor Fubara to take charge of the party as its leader in the state. But the exception has been the case now. Wike is not a sitting governor. And unlike what we see in other PDP control states, where the governor takes complete control, Wike has not allowed Fubara to take control of the party. He believes that this is a life and death battle for him. It is a battle, it's a big battle to save his political career, and he made it clear that he will not allow anybody to take the structures of the party from him. And in this matter, he has received the support of the National Working Committee of the party. And the options for Governor Fubara have become really, really narrowed at this time. He can barely do anything of significance within his party in Rivers State, except, as I said earlier, the courts render the primaries as a nullity. There are still other battles ahead. As I've always said during our programs, the courts have a big role to play in this whole battle for the soul of Rivers State. The decision of the courts, especially on the matter of whether the House of Assembly members, the Martin Amewule faction, whether they could be deemed to have officially defected from the APC, which will make them to automatically lose their seats. That is a crucial matter for the courts to resolve. Whoever wins in the courts on that matter would have gained a tremendous advantage. That is between Wike and Governor Fubara. Whoever wins in the battle for control of the House of Assembly would have gained a tremendous advantage over the other person. If the courts say that those lawmakers would not be said to have validly defected by law, then all of the big decisions that Governor Fubara has taken, for which he needed the validation of the House of Assembly, will be rendered a nullity. The appointments that he made and some of the bills that the three-man uh, faction of the House of Assembly took could be rendered a nullity at the end of the day. And Fubara could even begin to struggle to retain his position as governor, because no one knows the issue of his the attempt to impeach him that was put on hold will then be resurrected. So it's a big battle for his political life, and I'm not surprised, or I wasn't surprised when Segun Showumi, a PDP member and a political analyst, said Fubara clearly does not understand politics, because the governor has suffered some setbacks, and as we can see, is in a battle against a very formidable opponent, someone who has been there for so long, someone who understands how to get things working for him in Nigerian politics. So this is the way it is. He has lost out in the battle for the control of PDP in Rivers. He has lost out completely, with the National Working Committee ratifying the congresses of the party,
That's right,
which were dominated and organized by Wike's faction. So it is hanging on a thread now, and it is only the law courts that can rescue him. If the law courts order the PDP to organize a fresh congress and nullifies the one that was held some weeks back, then it will be really unfortunate for Governor Seminala Fubara.
right. Just like, although this matter is still a subject of litigation, just like you said, because Rivers State courts had restrained the PDP from holding congresses in the state, just like you said. So the PDP governors had directed the NWC to ensure that all the congresses in Rivers State be handed over to the Rivers State Governor Fubara, and Wike is threatening fire and brimstone about making these governor states ungovernable if they don't mind their business. How do you see this issue, panning out in the nearest future?
That directive by the governors was made before the meeting held this week. That directive was handed down before that meeting, and in spite of that directive, the NWC proceeded to approve the congresses against the directive of the governors. So it's clear to us where the NWC belongs in this matter. It is clear that the NWC was not prepared to toe the line of their governors. So the NWC chose to side with Wike on this matter. And I don't know what will happen in the coming days, but so far, the NWC has refused to take the directive, to implement the directive of the PDP governors that said that power should be, the structures of the party should be placed in the hands of Governor Fubara, who is the leader of the party by convention. The leader of the party in the state by convention.
Right. So let's see. Let me take one or two comments, and then I take my other questions. The first one here says, Adiri Henry says, if Fubara do the needful as a governor, he will triumph at last. Proper enlightenment of electorate will defeat unusual godfatherism. Banji Okesoto says, it serves Fubara right. He is an ingrate. He should go and test his political relevance in another party. Funny. Promise Emmanuel says, when will Nigeria move forward, please? Instead for them to promote peace and work together as to take Nigeria forward, fight every time. Oluwasegun says, it's unfortunate that the present government have not learned enough about the River State politics, the state it governs. Governor it means. Nelson says, Fubara made the worst mistake from the time he left winning people to his side for chasing his predecessor. Fubara's second mistake was his rubbishing the presidential advice over peace in River State. And Banji says, BKO is correct. Where was Atiku at all when PDP was in crisis? Today, OBJ, Jonathan are nowhere to be found. PO abandoned PDP for Labour Party when it was tough. Wike was there to save the ruins of PDP in 2015. Rashid says, looking at the electoral law, we have less than 2 months to the local government election as scheduled by River State. Can a member of PDP contest under APP in less than 2 months to the election? So that leads me to the next question. You know, with the NEC meeting in view, it's expected that all the congresses will be ratified at the October meeting, and subsequently, a new national chairman might emerge. With this development, BKO, there were indications that Fubara might hasten its plans to move to the Alliance People's Party, that's the APP. What does this mean for the PDP in the state and its own political strength or career?
Well, already now, it doesn't look like the PDP is prepared to contest. Is prepared to throw in contestants for the local government election. They have gone to court. They have gone to court to get the INEC to not release the voters register to the State Independent Electoral Commission. They are doing their best to stop the local government election taking place. But if Fubara gets the nod of the courts to go ahead and conduct the local government election, the candidates from APP will then dominate the local government chairmanship positions as well as the councillorship positions, because effectively the PDP will have been shut out of the local government election, which will give Fubara an edge. The control that he wants at the local government level, he may get it if the courts, if the courts permit the election to take place against the wish of the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State to stop the local government election from taking place. So there could be a positive sign for Fubara in that direction. But it's looking very unlikely that he will be able to use the PDP structures in the state, because he has now been effectively shut out. And as one Nigerian newspaper described it, Governor Fubara is currently in the lodge. But he still has a bit of advantage with the local government election coming up. If the PDP can't stop the election from holding, I see Fubara's candidates dominating the election, because a good number of them have already indicated a desire to contest on the platform of APP. No one knows who will be the next local government national chairman of the PDP, but that is a battle between Wike and elements close to him, and as well as Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar still wants to contest the next presidential election, so he will want to also have a say in who becomes the next national chairman of the PDP. So for now, Damagum is the chairman of the party, and to those who have been attacking Wike for working for President Tinubu, Wike says that he got permission from his party, from the NWC, to go to work as a minister in the administration of President Tinubu. So he insists that he's not guilty of anti-party activity. He insists that he's not a mole, the party, that he duly informed them before accepting the offer to serve his nation as a minister, Tinubu administration. So the contest for Rivers is still very much on, but what is certain is that within the context of PDP, the governor of Rivers State has lost out because the party refused to back him. The party ratified the congresses organized, held by the rival faction, which is the faction loyal to the FCT minister.
That's right. A matter of fact, Wike also challenged, other governors or any other person that they should actually come out if they did not present any names, recommended any names for the president, during the ministerial, scouting. But where I'm actually going is, I do not know, I'm not sure whether you're also thinking where this issue might actually end or where it might, lead to at the end of the day, because it does appear that there is no one currently who is likely going to mediate between Mr. Wike and Mr. Fubara to resolve this matter. In Wike's recent outing, he made it known that he's not ready to resolve any issues. And are there no leaders in Rivers State who can weigh in on this matter? Because Wike also said, described Edwin Clark as, they said he's an elder statement. There's a word he actually described him with, which showed that he didn't, actually regard him as, an elder statesman. How do you think this matter can be resolved? Or do you see any light at the end of the tunnel in this whole hula balu?
I do not. You see, the problem with the leaders is that on this matter, they've all taken side. It's difficult, really, to not take a side on this matter. There are many people believe that Wike has been too overbearing, is too cocky, he talks anyhow, and they are not happy, and he does not respect anyone. Doesn't appear to respect anyone. So that conduct has made him to lose a lot of supporters, especially amongst big politicians. Some of the politicians who helped him to get to where he is today, he is known to have abused them, to have insulted them and diminished them. So many of them have decided to side with the government. Whatever will bring him down, reduce his influence and his arrogance, many of those big politicians are prepared to do. So they are not pretending now that on this matter they are with Governor Fubara. Governor Fubara, in my view, will most like what happened to Obaseki will most likely happen to him. Obaseki saw clearly that Oshomole, as leader of the party, as chairman of the APC, had lost faith in him, was not prepared to work with him anymore. And Oshomole, for that reason, Oshomole frustrated Obaseki. At a point, it became clear that Obaseki had no political party. Because You cannot wage a war against your own national chairman. So even when the revalidation exercise of the party held, the governor did not really revalidation of membership of the party held. The governor did not show up. The governor did not also take part in the congresses. So in a way, you could say that he has one leg out of the party already. It's looking like the way things were for Obaseki, and he had no hesitation but to join the PDP. I believe that with the way the Rivers crisis is going, Governor Fubara will have no choice but to leave the PDP for Nyesom Wike, since he has not been able to get the leadership of the party, that's the PDP, to support him against his estranged political godfather. He knows that the future does not look bright. If the leadership of the party has supported him fully, the leader of the party now representing the national, talking about the NWC, if they have supported him fully, this Congress will not have held. And if it will hold, it will be a Congress that will be inclusive. The way it is now, you cannot say that Congress was inclusive because the governor's supporters were not part of it. So he's going to look at the options available to him and tell himself that given the way things are going, I have no choice. I have to leave the party. We've seen people left their political parties and still won the governorship election. We've seen people do that. You know, Margaret Takadawa Mako, former governor of Sokoto State, he was deputy governor. He left the party to contest on the platform. They used to be in the APP and AMPP, but he refused to join the then governor, his boss, Atairu Bafarawa, to move to a different party. He decided to go to PDP rather than move from AMPP to another party at that time. He moved to the PDP and he won the election, became the next governor of the state, and he also, candidates loyal to him also won, and for the first time in the history of Sokoto State, PDP dominated the general election, the state. So I believe that the governor will be weighing his options, except the governor step in and bring him back on board. I believe Governor Fubara will simply leave the PDP for Nyesom Wike, who has now appropriated the structures of the party in Rivers State.
That's
and
right.
The implications of that is a telling one. That's very, very serious implications when your political enemy takes complete control of the structures of the party in your state.
Very quickly.
It is not palatable at all.
Very quickly, let's quickly touch on this. I just wanted to react to these in less than maybe 2 or 3 minutes because we're out of time. Rem Sheon says, Jide here is better than Jide journalist hangout. Jide is always the same, any day, any time. And he went on to say, Wike made a smart move installing a civil servant and not a politician. That is only keeping him relevant. Oluwasegun now said something which I wanted to react to or just speak to. Remember that the 27 lawmakers are presumed legal by a court of jurisdiction as against 3 lawmakers whom Fubara presently relied on. What will happen to Fubara if the apex court legalize the 27? What's your response to this? Very quickly.
Yes, if the apex court says that those guys have not validly defected to the APC, Fubara will be in trouble. You know, and one thing is clear: the constitution of our country does not support having just three individuals running the House of Assembly. It is very, very clear. Uh, the Constitution expects that at least 25 of them will sit, 25 of them will sit to take decisions in the House of Assembly. But what we have is a situation in which two persons and then a speaker, making three, are running the House. That is against the Constitution, and this is a matter that the Supreme Court will decide upon. I believe that it won't be long before that big decision is made by the Supreme Court, and it will completely change the equation. Whoever wins in court, it will be a massive advantage to that person.
That's right.
You know, for Fubara, he will be happy to see the back of those lawmakers because they are very loyal to Wike, and all entreaties made to them, they've turned down in favor of loyalty to their boss. So if Fubara can see the back of those lawmakers, he will be very happy. And then if the Supreme Court says, no, those lawmakers are still members of the PDP, especially since their names remain in the register of the PDP and their names have not entered the register of APC because they were supposed to go directly to their wards to officially join the APC, but they didn't do that. So
That's right.
for now, their names have not been expunged from the register of the PDP. So if they win that case against the governor, then it will be a massive setback for the governor. It means that a lot of the things that he had done, that he thought that he had been given legal teeth, would then be rendered a nullity. And the matter of his budget, not presenting a budget to the full house, that will come up. He will now be forced to come back and present that budget to the people that didn't want to present it. So it's a very precarious situation. But I think that the elders of Rivers State have not done well. Ordinarily, President Tinubu should not have been involved in this matter.
That's right.
But it was an issue crying for intervention by leaders in the state. But it seems that the leaders didn't really step forward. They didn't rise up to be counted. And a lot of them are taking side on this matter. And once a person sees that you've taken side, he will not be excited to want to come before you for the resolution of the matter. And I don't see the president stepping in again. I do not see that happening.
That's right.
Because some of the things that he told the governor to do, the governor didn't do, especially the matter of presenting his budget to the House. And even the commissioners that were represented, to the assembly by the governor, many of them have left the administration, So I do not see the president stepping in.
Well, Oluwasegun is happy with your response. He says, God bless you, BKO, for your response on the issue of 27 lawmakers as against the 3 lawmakers. The end result might lead to impeachment for the governor, Fubara. Well, that remains to be seen how that will go. We never can tell. No one knows tomorrow. We can only prognosticate based on the current, facts that are on the ground. But BKO, that's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, Babajide. Kolade-Otitoju, for those insightful analyses as always.
Thank you. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, our loyal viewers. God bless you all.
Right, and thanks to you to our audience for keeping our company on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. You can also follow us on our social media platforms at TVC News NG. I'm also at Ibrahim underscore Shita. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, you're watching it.